This is how a dietitian meal preps for the week. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to show you guys how I meal prep from start to finish. Whenever I meal prep, I like to make different options for protein, starch, and vegetable. So today I'm going to be making baked chicken, baked salmon, curried tofu, seasoned rice, potatoes au gratin, fresh fruit, boiled eggs, and a huge salad. I start off by seasoning the protein options. First, I place the chicken in a pan. Then I let it sit in some diluted vinegar water for about 5 minutes before pouring the vinegar/water solution off and seasoning the chicken. I season the chicken with adobo, black pepper, garlic powder, and basil because I just love herbs. Then I flip the drumsticks over and do the same thing on the other side. Next, I take care of the salmon. These I clean the same way as the chicken off camera, and for seasoning I add adobo, garlic powder, and black pepper. Then I move on to the tofu. I drain off the water and then I cut the tofu on a paper towel to suck up the excess moisture. Once it is in little cubes, I remove the paper towel and you can see it's still kind of wet, and I lightly salt the tofu. Then I put the chicken, the fish, and the tofu into the oven to bake on 450 degrees. The fish and the tofu will be taken out after about 25 minutes, and I normally leave the chicken in for about an hour. Next, we have the eggs. I boil these ahead mainly for breakfast. Now we're moving on to our starches. First, I give the potatoes a nice wash. Then on a cutting board, I remove all of the ugly parts and cut the potatoes into smaller pieces before dividing everything into 2 pans. Next, I prepare the liquid that will be added to the potatoes. I start with a base of chopped onion and garlic sauteed in margarine, and then I add the seasoning. You can guess which one I'm going to mention next. Yes, adobo is back again, along with garlic and basil. I let that cook on low heat for a few minutes. In the meantime, the tofu and the fish are finished baking. Take a look at the results. The tofu is nice and firm, and the fish is crusted on the outside and soft on the inside. Just lovely. Back to the liquid for the potatoes au gratin. I give the base a stir once I start to smell that delicious aroma of sauteed onion and garlic. You know you love that smell. Then I add milk and water and some more seasoning as needed. Here I'm giving it a taste. I have to double check. Yeah, it's good. Next, I pour all that flavor over the potatoes, and I add a little more water just to make sure that they have enough liquid to steam in. Then I cover the pans with foil and I put them in the oven, still on 450, for 45 minutes. Now I am moving on to my curry tofu. I start with onion and garlic again, but this time I saute them in olive oil. Now for the seasonings, I add quite a few, but it's all a matter of personal taste. I add curry, fenugreek, ginger, cumin, basil, black pepper, and adobo, and I let all of that simmer together in the pan while I move on to washing some fresh fruit. This fruit will be used for breakfast or snack along with the eggs and other protein options that are easy for me to make during the week. For example, I might mix up some protein powder to have for breakfast along with some fresh fruit, or I might just grab a cheese stick to have with fruit as a snack. I give them a good rinse and I let them sit a while to get nice and clean. Then I move back to the curry tofu. I've added some milk to the mix. Normally I use coconut milk, but I was out, so I used oat milk instead. I add the tofu cubes in along with some fresh basil and mix that well. I let that simmer on low for about 20 minutes to make sure that the tofu picks up all that flavor. Then I add some lemon juice at the end. On to the next dish, the lentil sprout salad. I start by sauteing chopped onion, garlic, and red bell pepper. I season them with adobo, once again, then I add some sweet corn to the mix. To that, I add black pepper and chili powder. While that's simmering, I went ahead and prepped some more fruit. I like to keep a variety of fruit options on hand so that I can combine them and enjoy the benefits of synergy. I will link to the video that explains why you should be combining your fruits too down below. Now we have what is basically roasted corn, peppers, and onions and garlic, and I'm going to add this to the lentil sprouts that I made earlier. I started sprouting these lentils maybe 3 to 4 days ago. Sprouts are very nutritious and easier to digest than regular beans. I add walnuts and mix it all together with some lemon juice. Yum. Now back to the potatoes. They have been in the oven for about 45 minutes. I'm going to add some cheese and pop them back in for around 10 minutes, uncovered this time to get a nice melty cheesy topping. Once I turn on the oven, I like to prepare multiple dishes that can go in there. It makes cooking more efficient if most of your dishes can just be popped in there together or one after the other. Lastly, I have some frozen veggies that I'm just going to steam, no razzle dazzle here. And here is the final result. If you're looking for the rice, it's in the bowl under the eggs. I made rice a week ago and I made too much, so I froze half, and that's what I'm using as my second starch option for this week. The last step is putting my lunch together. I mix and match the protein, starch, and vegetable options each day for lunch, and the fruit and eggs are my breakfast for the next day. Alright, so that is it. That is how I meal prep for the week, Monday through Friday, my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. This food, if it looks like a lot, is not just for me, it's actually for 2 people. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care.